Welcome everybody. I'm doing an Asvab practice test for the mathematical content knowledge, and I'm going to be doing 2 questions in 1 video. So there's going to be a total of 15 videos for this section. There's going to be 15 videos for the arithmetic reasoning practice test as well. So let's get started and get these going. So the Greek letter delta shown there represents the sensitivity of a price of stock options to price movements of the stock option until the derivative option is based. Blah, blah, blah. What does that even mean? All right, if an option has a change of a delta of 50 cents, then a $1 increase of the underlying stock should result in a 50-cent increase in the value of that option. Again, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's the part that we really need to focus on. Joseph owns an option of 200 shares of XYZ Corporation. And that part we do need to know. So we have that part, and then we're told the stock is currently priced at $45 per share. And we also know that the price of the stock, if it was to decrease by 2%, what will be expected change in the value of Joseph's option if the delta is equal to 40 cents. So 0.40. So we have the 4 options here. So we have, I'm just going to put the option choices here on my board. So I have them. So we've got a loss of 72, a loss of 36, positive 36, and 72. First off, I can drop off the last 2 because this is talking about a price decrease. So if it's decreasing, it's not going to increase in price. So C and D automatically are gone. So we're going to go ahead and look at the 200 shares. Now we know that we have $45 per share. And that's one piece of information we have. And then the last piece of information that we do have here is that, that we have a 2% decrease. So 2% decrease. I'm just gonna put that there. All right, so we've got all that information. Now we're gonna go ahead and start to focus. So if we have 45 cents per share, $45 per share, we're gonna take the 45. Now we are doing a decrease of 2%, which if we're doing that, changing that over from percent to a decimal, you just move the decimal 2 places over. So that is 0.02, and because it's a decrease, we're going to throw a negative in front of it. So we're going to take 45, and we're going to multiply that by 0.02, and then it's going to be a negative. And when we do that, we're going to end up with 0.9. Now, that's part of my answer. Now, to use that, I have to go back over here to that last little piece here. That what's the expected change in Joseph's option if we have this 0.40. So what we're going to do is take this 9 tenths and we're going to multiply it times 4 tenths. And we do that, you're going to end up with 0.36. Okay, that's not really helping me too much, right? So that's just for 1 share. Now again, you might get fooled and you might think, oh, it's okay, it's V. But that's only for 1 share. So we do need to multiply this 0.36 times 200 because there's 200 shares there. And when I do 0.36 times 200 shares, that gives me 72. And when we look at the options, again, because it is a decrease, we do want to go with A, which is negative 72. So that would be what my answer would be for this problem. That's this question. Now let's take a look at our next question, which would be question number 9. Let me just find it here. Okay, there we go. And so there's the problem. As you can see, we've got a couple of triangles that are intertwined or intersecting with each other. And so we have this little drawing here. So again, looking at the information that we have a right angle up here in the corner, the top corner where A is. And we also have that piece there in the middle, which is C, and then we have E and D over on the other side. We are told that AB, which is this top piece over here, is parallel to this bottom piece over here, ED. So we're also told in this information, a lot of information. So we know that ED is equal to 3, that's 3 centimeters. We know that CD is equal to 5 centimeters. And we're also told that BA is equal to 4 centimeters. So we're asked, what is the perimeter of the triangle ABCD? I will write my choices down here on my board. So we have them. We've got 12 centimeters, we've got 15 centimeters, 16 and 18. So getting to work here, there's a few things we have to focus on with this drawing. All right, so we have all this information here, and I apologize for this glare. I'm trying to get this worked so that it's not glary. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to focus on the fact of the parallel piece. So we know that it's parallel, so that helps me with a couple of things. Because ABC has a right triangle, that also means that this down here is a right triangle as well. And this is flipped. Now they're not obviously exactly the same, because if they were, these pieces would be the same. They're not. So they're reflected, but they are actually going to be a ratio of 4 to 3 because they're similar triangles, which means this piece compared to this piece, it would be 4 to 3. Now, they're asking me about the perimeter, and the other pieces obviously that we have, that 5 and 3 are here. So this is using the hypotenuse and the leg. We could use the Pythagorean theorem. If we know our Pythagorean triples, then we know that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And again, you should know Pythagorean triples, hopefully. So a squared would be the 3 squared, the b squared we would not know, and we know c squared is 5. So if we're doing our Pythagorean triples, we should know that that's 4, but this is going to be 9 plus b squared equals 25. Subtract 9 on both sides. B squared is equal to 16. And we want to do the opposite operation of squaring something, which is to square root it. So square rooting 16, you get b is equal, as I said, to 4. So we know that this triangle up here is a 3, 4, 5 triangle, as I already stated. So going back to our pieces, this is a 4 to 3 ratio. So if we know that the area of all of this, if we add it all together, is 4, 5, which is 9, and then this is 12. That whole triangle is 12. What we're going to do is take 4/3 of that perimeter, and that will help me determine what the perimeter of this triangle is right here. So again, the 4 to 3 ratio, because these are similar triangles, you're going to do 4 over 3. We're going to multiply it times 12, or just 12 over 1, if you want to keep it consistent. We can simplify. 3 goes into itself once, 3 goes into itself 4 times, and then 4 times 4 gives me 16. So 16 centimeters is my total. And when I look at the options, you can see C is my answer, and I've got it all good to go. If you want more questions like these, find them on my Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at YouWantAlgebra. These are all going to be located in the Asvab playlist. And don't forget to like, share, and follow me for more.